Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 32 of the Go Get That podcast. And there is a new Longhorn on top. Scottie Scheffler is the new world number one in the world of golf. He is the first University of Texas at Austin alum to reach that feat since Jordan Spieth. It's hard to say he's not the best one in the world right now. I mean, he is pretty dominant. He's won 3 of his last 5 starts. That is something that you just don't see on the PGA Tour. We were talking about how on a podcast earlier in the year when we were talking about Cantley having 4 wins last year, and some of those wins weren't even like legit. Like he won at the Tour Champ, and then he won when Rahm had to withdraw. So I mean, it's not even the Masters, and Scottie Scheffler has already won 3 times this season. That is ridiculous. And these are not joke events either. These are good events. So I mean, say what you want. I don't know if I'm a Scottie fan. I don't root against him, but like, I'm blown away. This is some stretch this young man's on.
It's impressive because, as you said, he's winning big time events. No Laying Up put out a tweet. I mean, the 3 events he's won at completely different venues, which is really impressive. I mean, 3 before Augusta is not even Jordan didn't do that in 15. So it's just really impressive. I know at the World Golf Rank, I still think Jon Rahm's a better golfer than Scottie Scheffler.
I disagree with that. So
That's fine, but I'm sure there'll be quite a few disagreements in this podcast. I'm taking Rahm over Scheffler, but I will disagree with one thing that you said, where this is a pro Scottie take that I have. You put out a tweet earlier saying how there won't be anyone that will have as dominant a season as Jordan had in 15. I think Scottie could do it. I think the 2 majors will be difficult, but I think he can win more than 5 times.
Yeah, I think it's a fair take. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're good.
But, like he's already got 3, as Bob mentioned, really quality wins, like really strong fields. Phoenix has obviously become one of the better fields in the early part of the season. So he won there. And then, he took down Bay Hill and held off Hovland on that Sunday. Really tough golf course, really good field. Won it at 5 under, and then he came into match play and got out of arguably the hardest group. Right?
Oh, it was by far the hardest group, I'd say.
With Patrick, had to beat Fitz in a 6-hole sudden death playoff. I think he made 3 birdies in 6 holes, and Fitz matched him on 2 of those birdies, but obviously not the 3rd. And then you run through who'd he beat on? He obviously smushed Kisner in the final, which I know Bob was.
He lost a match, by the way.
Unfortunate. I think he lost to Fleetwood 2-1 on Thursday. And then responded by beating Fitzpatrick like 5-4, and then beat him in the playoff. And then he got his revenge on Billy Horschel. Who did he beat in the quarters?
I can look. I don't remember off the top of my head.
God, who was in that bottom left bracket? Who came out of that?
It was like Cantley,
Berger. Oh, Hatton. Who beat Hatton?
He beat Hatton. I think it's Hatton.
No, he didn't beat Hatton.
No, because somebody beat Hatton in the quarterfinal, the Sweet 16.
The PGA Tour app wasn't in slow motion. I mean,
Who beat Hatton? I know who beat Power. That's who it was.
Seamus.
Yeah, Seamus.
He ran over Seamus.
And then he ran over DJ. I mean, DJ did make it close down the stretch. And then he just straight up beat Kisner. I mean, Kisner didn't make anything on Sunday, but I'm sure maybe we'll get into that a little bit. But
yeah,
I mean, Scheffler's clearly he's doing what Rahm could have done. But
okay, yeah. So I have something about that.
It's like now he's going to be world number one. I don't know how long he'll be world number one because it could change very quickly in 2 weeks.
I have,
Masters, but
yeah.
I mean he's done what Rahm couldn't do, and that's take advantage of playing really, really good golf and actually win tournaments, put W's on the page, on the resume that, those, I mean, I know these guys are going to be around for another 15, 20 years, but you don't get hot streaks like that.
No.
Like that, this could be a career, like 2 months for Scottie Scheffler, and he's taking advantage of it.
No, yeah. So I'd like to go before you, Jordan, because I have a few things I want to say. I'll start off with Jordan's take. I don't see Scottie. I don't think Scottie can do it. Here's why. Scottie would have to win 2 majors this year.
Oh, see, that's what I said. I don't know if he can do that, but
Scottie would have to win 2 majors this year. He would have to win 6 events, because if he ties Jordan, the tiebreaker is going to go to the person who almost won the other 2 majors.
That's a Bob rule. That's a Bob rule.
I do not think Scottie is going to win 6 events with 2 of them being majors, and I think he'd have to win the FedEx Cup too. Jordan closed it out with the FedEx Cup as like, the big finale.
Does he have to win 2 majors?
I think he does. He'd have to win 7, 8 events to. I mean, if
Like
you're
if
going to
he-
give Scottie Scheffler a better year than Jordan with only 1 major,
Okay. Yeah, no,
you
that's
have to win like 7, 8 events.
I mean, Jordan
fair.
was quite literally like 4 shots from the slam.
Yeah, exactly. But
Right.
I want to respond to Dan's and Jordan kind of at the same time about Jon Rahm. Scottie Scheffler is the best closer that we have seen in a very long time. I've never seen anyone take advantage of being in contention like he has been. I mean, Jon Rahm doesn't do this. Jon Rahm gets himself into contention every week, right? But like, he doesn't win.
Yeah.
Scottie Scheffler has taken advantage of every single time he's been up near the leaderboard.
I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit of recency bias, to be fair, because he had a lot of events last year he didn't close out.
Yeah. It's an interesting conclusion. Sorry.
But right now, how is Jon
He
Rahm
could go
better
winless for
when-
another 2 years after winning this.
He
week,
absolutely
too.
could, but Jon Rahm should have at least 3 wins in last year, and he only.
Oh.
Well, to be fair, he had 1 stolen, which we can all agree on, right?
Yeah,
And he
Yeah.
has a major, which Scottie doesn't have yet.
Well, and honestly,
Scotty's hasn't even played in all 4 majors though. So
True, but I mean, John still got one.
yeah. No, I agree. I think I don't know if calling Scottie the best closer, like, I don't know if I agree with that wording, but I think I agree with what you're getting at. Like, he has taken advantage of his form more than anybody has in a few years. Like, you remember Rory when he racked up all those top 5s, maybe in 2019 before COVID. And everybody was like, oh, this is the year Rory gets to slam. And then obviously COVID happened, but he only had won once, and it was at the WGC HSBC over in China, I believe. But like, Scotty's playing so well, and he's won three times now in 6 events, and he definitely closed out match play pretty well, but he almost blew Phoenix. I mean, he had what, 5 feet to win in regulation, and then
like,
you make
it's
a
12.
But I think
it's not like he missed a bunch.
Yeah, no, but I think with like
Almost blowing is not a. I don't like that stat.
Yeah,
like,
that's not a
almost
statement
blowing.
you can make.
Yeah.
But I also think that, but if you want to talk about closing though, that seems like somebody who doesn't make a mistake down the stretch, and I don't think you can.
I don't even know if
say that
there's.
based on 3 wins. Like, if you want to talk about a closer, I think it's Colin Morikawa.
I'd go with Brooks. Or Colin that works
is a
too.
closer. I agree with that.
I don't know about Brooks anymore. Brooks has let a few slip away from him in recent years.
Well, I don't.
Which
think
was
he's
unlike
gotten
how
up there,
he.
though. When has Brooks really been in a position to win? I guess
It's
maybe
true.
against Phil. At
Yeah.
the Kiowa, you could say that was a chance for him to, like, Phil was 50.
At
and shoot 2
At Harding Park, he was up there.
Yeah, but he wasn't like.
He was up there.
But no, but he wasn't. He
like,
wasn't in the lead.
I
He
feel
didn't have a
closing is
lead.
having the lead and hanging on to it.
Yeah. But I
Here's
think,
my.
yeah, it's all just broad terms, right? So it's tough
Yeah.
to like really say what closing is.
Yeah,
But I do
if you-
like Scheffler has definitely taken advantage of this good form, and
If
that's
you
just
want-
something that's hard to do.
If you want to talk about Brooks is my pick to win the Masters right now.
You're jumping on the damn bandwagon.
Yeah,
right?
jumping on the train, baby.
I mean,
Come on, we got empty seats over here.
he's finally showing some form, and I mean, he's due to win a major. I mean, he's Mr.
for
Major,
sure.
right?
Oh yeah,
And
he's
the
healthy.
Masters is one that he wants a lot, and that course fits him. So, like, I don't know. I think
Yeah,
Augusta will be his time. I like Hovland, Brooks, and Seamus Power at the Masters.
I'm
Those are the
staying
three.
fully away from Hovland.
Yeah, we
Me and Dan fully agree on this.
Hovland's an interesting opinion for the Masters because on one, I mean, I don't know why we've already gotten to Masters talk, but on one end, like the short game is nowhere near good enough. But at the same time, Hovland is, I feel like, capable of hitting the ball so well that he just needs to chip it like average, which is he capable to do? Maybe. I mean, Augusta's just a different beast, but and we'll get to that more in 2 weeks. I'm glad you're jumping on the Brooks train, Bob. We're headed toward the career slam at St. Andrews. I feel great about it. I've been beating this drum since Christmas, so
I tried to get on it a week early. I picked him to win, and he gave me a good
he
ride
did
at match
a
play.
lot better this week than I thought he would be. Brooks.
I
I
agree.
mean, his bracket wasn't all that great looking back at it, but
I
so
don't know who did best in the bracket, Johns. Let me check that out.
I had Scheffler in the
Uh,
final. I don't know.
I had Scheffler losing the horse, so that killed me.
I had Brooks Zalatoris that both
Exactly.
advanced pretty far.
I mean, I had Kisner deep. We can talk about Kisner in a second too, but I think we should talk about Spieth first. I think I'd like to talk about Spieth very briefly. I came 136th. Ew.
Can you see where the rest of us came?
Yeah, what was your usernames?
Mine was probably like Daniel Olson.
Okay.
I'm not in the challenge. I don't know. My bracket did well though. I wish I
I
could
think I
have
might have
actually
been
looked.
like 70 something. I don't know. Scheffler was my only.
While
Okay.
you look, we can start to get into Spieth.
Yeah.
Look, Spieth's not. I mean, there's no bias here. Spieth's not peaking like a Brooks is or a JT is, but Spieth is a hot putter away from really, I think, doing something.
I disagree.
I don't know how you can disagree when the stats are going to completely tell you you're wrong.
Hold on.
It depends what you mean about hot putter.
A putter that's not in a freaking casket. The guy can't.
Yeah,
putt,
but
so.
yeah, but like, how is he gonna get that right now? Here's the thing. Here's my
Makes one early like you did at Genesis round one. And just
here's
gets it
my
going.
opinion. Spieth is putting. Spieth is not. His putter's not cold.
Oh, it's
His
cold.
putter is dead.
Yeah.
It is. He is missing 4 footers by 3 inches.
Yeah.
Like that much. Like, how do you miss the hole by that much on a 4-footer? Like, he's not even close. I don't see how that changes in 1 week. I'll be honest. I don't see how a stroke, because that's a stroke thing. Like, I mean, even on your worst day reading putts, you're gonna hit the hole sometimes, and you just can't hit the hole. Like, he can't even hit the hole. It's a speed issue. It's a read issue. It's an everything issue. I don't see that being one good week for me away. Is, I mean, an exponential improvement would still not be enough to win the Masters.
See, here's the thing. We'll get into this in the Valero preview. He putts well at Valero. And I know, especially I'm looking at you. I know if he putts well at Valero, your mind is going to completely change. And part of that's because he's just so good at Augusta. But I mean, I even noted, I mean, look who won the Masters last year. A guy that is, if he could putt really well, would be winning a whole lot more. And he went and just had one good putting week.
I guess my point is more, I don't think he's going to have. I don't think he's in a spot where he can have that week.
I mean, it doesn't need to be a hot week. His irons can carry him. He's been striping it off the tee. I mean, the short game at Augusta is always great. It can't be dead like it is right now.
Yeah. I feel like after this week, breaking things down into parts has helped me think about it. And so there's 3 parts, and the putter is broken into 2 parts because that's how complicated it seems to be on the greens right now. The off the tee on approach have been decent to good. There were some pretty rusty wedges on Wednesday that sort of make the strokes gain numbers not as great. Then I thought he hit with the wind blowing a little bit, I thought he hit some pretty good iron shots, drove it pretty well, except for that one tee shot on 14 on Wednesday, maybe, where he just put it straight in, or not 14, 13, that drivable 4.
Yeah.
He just duck hooked it into the water when you have all of Texas to the right. There was some course management stuff, but I think he's hitting it well enough to where if you gain a little bit of momentum there and he gets like there were some good looking swings on Friday with the irons on the par 3s. And I was like, well, that's, that looks like there's something there, some sort of spark, some sort of, snowball effect. Like, it just needs to get going a little bit in terms of racking up good swings, like, continuously. I thought the short game was like major winning level. Like, it was good enough to win a major. And then the putting, my goodness, he lost 5.5 strokes in 3 days, which is out of it in his career. It's the second worst per round strokes gained putting. Do you know what the worst is?
Mexico?
No. Close. But not like actually close, but Mexico is in there.
Yeah, I know Mexico's bad. Torrey?
Which year?
I don't any year he can't putt there
It
either.
is Torrey, and it is this year, 2022 Torrey. There's only 2 rounds, or excuse me, only 1 round, but the per round average was worse.
Gotcha.
So I think with the putter though, like he hit a couple pretty good putts from longer range, which tells me that something like the way he's seeing stuff from 25 to 30 feet is going pretty well. But then the way he's seeing stuff from inside 10 is clearly not, like, it's beyond, I don't even know how to describe it because it's so bad. Like, he was 4 of 22 from putts from 4 to 15 feet this week. He made 4 out of 22 putts from 4 to 15 feet this week. That's like
awful.
Like, from 15 feet, I'm not sure what tour average is, but my guess is it's like probably 2 of 22. And he made 4, and that includes, and he wasn't just taking 15 footers. He missed everything from like 4 to 8 feet. And I think there's just something, like, the way his stroke is and what his eyes are seeing are not lining up.
The stroke's horrible. There's just so many unconvinced strokes. Like, he's just not, he's decelling, he's de-accelerating when the putter's going forward. I mean, it's coming back fine. I think it's on a good line, but when it's coming forward, the speed, I mean, he missed one on the back 9, the hole with the water on the left. He had about a 9-footer right to left, missed it low, and it was a very, very easy read, I think, against Scott. Hole with the water on the left of the fairway, hit it to like 9 feet. Right to left putt.
14.
Might have been, I think it is 14.
Yeah,
that was a game-changing part in that match too. If he makes that putt, I mean,
he's 2 down with 4 to play.
Exactly.
There's some life. He missed the hole by a hole and a half. Like,
on an easy read.
It was
Not a very
I'll give my thoughts on this. I have 2 things. The first thing is, I think the greens books are a big thing. I think he's not used to it, and I think a big thing is confidence. I think he would look over a putt, he'd see what he saw, and Greller would be like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing, or be like, no, we need to change a bit. I think it would just give him a lot more confidence. And now I think he's going in there with the mentality that this is still a guess, right? I think that's a big thing. I think it's going to take some getting used to, and he leaned on them a bit more than we might have thought of. That being said, at Augusta, he's never used them, but he's used to it.
A great point. That's
Maybe
exactly
we see something.
right. That's exactly where my mind, when you mentioned the green books, because I actually do think there could be something there, right? I mean, when they banned,
it's tough to look past, right? Like,
yeah,
that
at this point,
he's putting worse than he's ever putted, and there's a common denominator here. The greens books are gone, right? Like, you can't look past that.
Yeah, I mean,
but
if you think about guys like Adam Scott, when they banned the putter up against, like, it just takes time to get used to. And I think that it makes a lot of sense, at least to me, that there's no confirmation of what he's seeing. So it's still a guess. Like, there's not a book telling you it's slightly this way, and he's seeing it's slightly this way. So he can step up and trust it. Which I think is why he and Michael are, digging into that aim point stuff, which hasn't worked out very well from inside of 10 feet so far this year.
Nope.
But maybe Augusta is the switch. I mean, maybe Valero's the switch. A lot of people don't putt very well at Valero.
No, it's weird. Yeah.
And the winners at Valero are players who typically putt, like, have really good putting weeks, not just like slightly above average weeks, like at most courses. And he does typically putt well at Valero. So we'll see. And we'll talk about that more.
There's two things about the putting I want to talk about real quick. I think a lot of it is confidence, because
it's got to be. Yeah.
I keep harping on the first round of Genesis. He made that 10-footer on the 10th hole, and he putted really well that round. It seems every single, especially this week at Dell on that first hole, he had 2 putts inside 10 feet and missed both of them, and it just went south quickly.
I think he was inside of 10 feet all 3 days.
All 3 days, and he missed every single one of them. You just can't do that. And another thing on the Valero and the putter, it's actually funny. If you look at the events that he's played recently, they're all places he historically just has not putted great at. And I'm not making any excuses, but I was actually looking at his comments from last year at Dell, and he noted he doesn't usually putt well at Austin Country Club, which actually shocked me at first. I thought he did, but he pretty much said that he didn't. And then go back to Players, we know how that goes.
Yeah.
And then we enter a place this week where he's putted well, so it'll be interesting to see if something changes at Valero.
Yeah, I'd like to give my thoughts before we stop talking about Spieth, because this is a little bit depressing.
It is.
You look at all of his post-round press conferences, right? You look at, it's just not what you'd expect given what he looks like on the course. When he looks like on the course, is frustrated. I thought he was going to blow a gasket when he was playing Scott. He walked off that 8th green, 3 down, 4 down. He looked like he could kill a man. He was so angry, so frustrated. But you get to the afternoon press conference and he's like, I feel really good about my game. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here, because last year and the year before we were like, all right, he keeps saying this, like, when's it going to come? When's it going to come? But then it did come, right? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. This is a long game, right? That he's playing the long game here, and he's working towards something that's not going to be here right away. If you remember that quote, he said, the results are coming. That doesn't mean they're coming now. That could mean they're coming later, but they're coming, right? I'll trust him on that. I didn't before, because I've never seen him say that when he was in the slump, and then have it turn out to something. But it did turn out to something. Last year he had a very good year.
No, I agree. And that's just because the ball striking's been good.
Yeah.
And the putter's he's not going to lose strokes with the putter every single week through the FedEx Cup playoffs. And I feel, we're sitting here right now. When's the last time you guys felt as comfortable as he is off the tee? He is 28th in driving distance. 28th in driving distance. I think 28th or 27th. That's nuts. He's gaining 4/10 of a stroke right now off the tee. I mean, I feel really confident off the tee. I think the iron play is, I mean, he's gained strokes with the iron play in 5 straight events. It's just it's just the putter that I'm very worried about, but it'll turn, I believe.
Well, I guess to kind of finish up on Spieth, like you mentioned, the approach play has been above average 5 straight events, so it's a pretty high floor. Honestly, the around the green game has been not as great. Like if you look at some of those numbers, it's not as good as we know it can be, and it was really solid this week. Off the tee, again, the floor is like average at this point. Like he's hitting it well enough off the tee for him to do the rest of the magical stuff that he does. And I guess if there's any kind of encouraging thing is that, you know, he's only played 2 stroke play rounds since Genesis. Like that's very few, and it was at the Players, and it was just a total mess. And every day this week, he improved. I thought ball striking. Like I
100% agree.
I felt better about the way he hit the ball every day. And so maybe, you know, can finally get some momentum, because I've kind of been banging this drum, but he's just lacked momentum all year.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly on the greens, it's like the opposite momentum. Like it's just he got worse with the putter every day this week.
I mean, I sorry to interrupt you, but I remember Thursday, Justin Rose was walking off the green thinking Jordan was going to 100% make the putt, and he missed.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, I remember talking to I forget who it was.
Probably just a match play, like expect him to make.
I remember talking to someone. He's I know it was. I'm not gonna give away his name, but he was a former PGA Tour player. He plays in the senior tour now. That's the mindset that everyone has on tour and match play, where if you are not fully expecting to be playing the next hole in the worst case scenario that you could be, then you're not going to get very far, because you have to have the mentality that the person you're going to play is going to make every putt, or else you're going to be playing as if you're banking on people to miss putts, which you can't do when they're pros, right?
Sure.
So that's just the mentality they have. Like I remember watching him actually play in the tournament. It was like he lost some status, and like he played in like the Mass Open. It was like some match play thing, and he was on 18. They were tied. The guy who had him had his driver in his hand next to the hole, where if the guy missed it, the match was over. But if he made it, they would go back to 1. It would be a playoff. But he had the driver in his hand as he was standing on the tee. As he was standing on the green, watching the guy make the putt. So it's just like, that's just the mentality. I don't think that has anything to do with Jordan.
I will say though, I was reading the post round, the transcripts from all the 2 guys that beat him, Rose and Scott. I forgot which one commented, but even they said, I mean, Jordan missed a bunch of putts. They were saying it very nicely. I mean, even these pros, I mean, they know Jordan. They just know what Jordan's known for, making a bunch of putts. I mean, even they're seeing, like, they're not used to him putting like this. I mean, even they're shocked.
Yeah.
So hopefully it gets better.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I mean, I can't get like statistically in his career, it hasn't gotten worse than this. So we'll see. I mean, one guy who did putt really well, and Bob knows this, is Kevin Kisner.
Oh, I am so glad we've made the transition to Kevin Kisner. Kevin Kisner is easily my second favorite golfer, if you guys don't know that. I'm a big Kiss guy. I actually donated $100 to his foundation today. I encourage you guys to all do the same, because he had a very good week. And I also bought the Barstool hoodie, the Ain't No Hobby hoodie, which proceeds go to his foundation too. I love Kisner, dude. Kisner is I love his attitude. I love the fact that he doesn't care what anyone says about him. Do you see that quote? Someone said on 12, it was like, why you lay up? Why not just go for it? And he was like, why don't you just go, screw yourself, right? Like, And I was just like, I love how he handles himself. Like he seems like he's just like one of the guys you just love to play in a foursome with, right? Like he's just like,
Yeah.
like he doesn't treat it as a job, but then he has that like saying like ain't no hobby, right? Like he's out there for the money. Like I love the mentality. But I mean, he owns this golf course.
Oh yeah.
And he owns the match play. He loves the match play atmosphere. Played great in the President's Cup, but he also said like there's some courses that match play only gets me so far, right? Like he can't compete at Bethpage.
Yeah. Well, I think
But
that's the
get him to Quail Hollow, and
They actually
I
showed
will-
his Quail Hollow stats. They're not pretty.
yeah.
but he could play there at least. Like
Yeah,
for
he's missed the cut there like 5 times, but yeah, he could play there.
but like it's different. Match play's different. As long as he can hit, as long as his distance doesn't put him at too much of a disadvantage, then
right.
I love him.
Well,
But-
yes. I think what is really cool about Kisner is he's very aware of his game.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's
he
aware of
He
the
doesn't BS
situation
you.
very
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
He knows where he's at, and he knows what his strengths are, and like he hits a bunch of really good wedge shots, and he makes a bunch of putts, and he's gonna scrap, and he's gonna claw, and he has a good time making other golfers angry about his 10-foot par putts during match play, and I think that's sick.
But
'Cause
like,
there's very few guys out there that just will keep grinding and make 10-footers in match play because
I mean,
like
I'll give Scottie Scheffler this. I think Scottie Scheffler is one of the guys that I actually would make the exception to this. But how many guys are going to stand 3 down on the 15th tee and think that they have any chance whatsoever?
I mean, it depends who
probably,
you're playing against.
I
yeah,
mean,
You're kind of
like
screwed.
Kiz for sure.
you do not see people win 4 straight holes in match play
No, it's
when you
ridiculous.
have to win 4 straight holes. Like you can't do anything wrong. He went like birdie, eagle, birdie or something.
Yeah.
I think Scott gave him a hole, to be fair. Scott bogeyed
Yeah.
17,
I mean,
but still.
Scott
Yeah.
almost also gave up the half point to Keegan Bradley earlier in the week after being up like 2 or 3 with 4 or 5 to play. Obviously, Keegan hit that like unreal stinger slice between the trees
That's wild.
to make that putt on 18 to tie the match or win
Like
the
it's
hole.
just
and
like
tie
you
the
don't
match.
see
Like,
that. I just
yeah.
Kid's a spirit animal, dude. Like
Yeah, I think too, because he's played pretty well this year. Where else was he on a leaderboard somewhere? Or maybe not, but Wyndham counts for the President's Cup, right?
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think if we pull up the President's Cup standings right now, I think Kisner's he's
He's
got
up there.
himself in a great spot. He's
No,
probably-
I think
He's probably
Kisner is
in
in
the top 12.
I'd love to see Kisner. A win this week would have been really big for him.
Oh yeah, it probably would have locked President's Cup spot up.
And the problem with Kisner on Sunday was that he ran into
best player in the world.
he ran into Scottie
Yeah.
Scheffler, who couldn't miss he just wasn't dialed in the afternoon. Like he just
Yeah.
didn't have
It's a
he didn't
lot
have
of
the game
golf.
and he had the rest of the week. And
I think
whereas other times he could have just grinded and clawed his way back, Scottie wasn't going to let him like do that, right?
Well,
which
yeah.
is
I don't
just
know if
like-
it's an age thing either, but Kiz, I mean, being
Yeah.
like what,
Yeah.
12 years younger definitely helps, I would think,
Definitely,
especially
yeah.
after that many holes.
No, it's a I was gonna say I was thinking like match play wise, like Scheffler's just a bigger, stronger, younger Kisner. And that's just kind of unfortunate for Kevin Kisner, right? Like I think Kiz knows. Like I think he even says it like, you know, why do I even somebody asked him like if you know you have no chance at US Open or PGA, like why do you even show up to these places like Bethpage and Torrey? And he's like, because they pay a lot of money for 20th, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so he knows
Yeah.
that there's dudes that are just straight up bigger, stronger, faster, better than him.
But he
he's
knows it and he takes advantage of knowing
right.
it.
And he's just
Speaking-
gonna try and grind
Yeah.
and try and beat him. And I like that he takes advantage of the courses that he knows he kind of has to take advantage
Exactly.
of. The Wyndhams, the Austin Country Clubs, the Sea Island course, Colonial. I don't know if he plays well there, but
He does.
Yeah, I've alluded to the fact that at least the U.S. Open venue this year and St. Andrews, they bring a lot more guys into play, and Kiz is one of those guys. I think Kiz can go to that U.S. Open venue at Brookline or St. Andrews and compete this year, where he ain't competing at Torrey Pines like last year. And I think I'd love to see Kiz win a major. I think that'd be awesome.
I think Kisner is one of the most underrated players to ever like make it to that like top, you know? Like I think that I saw someone tweet something like that. Kiz wins at courses that he can win at. Like just as Dan's saying, like he takes advantage when he has to, and that's a dangerous thing. I mean, would you rather have someone like that, or would you rather have someone who can win anywhere but doesn't do anything? Like I'd rather have Kiz any day of the week, right? Kid, like everyone, like if you're a golf fan, and I knew it, that's why I picked his going deep. You knew Kisner was going to be a force to be reckoned with. I would have put $1 billion on him beating JT, like $1 billion. Like, why is JT going to beat Kisner in that situation? Kisner was never going to let Justin Thomas win that match.
You know, what's crazy too is like JT was 3 under through 6, and he was 3 down.
Blow out.
Like that's not even. JT is probably up 1 or 2 on most dudes.
If you count, I mean,
Kisner's just beating him straight up, 3 up through 6, and JT's 3 under. Like that's Kisner's just a stud. He's just a stud. That's what he is. And it's funny. He's the 27th best player in the world right now, and yet he seems like
he's 27.
Yeah. Like who would think that Kevin Kisner is number 27 in the world? That's what I'm saying. He takes advantage when he can.
Right. It's like that dude is like a top 30 golfer in the world.
Makes no sense.
You know,
he's like Charles Howe. I know Charles Howe's kind of like fallen off of it. Charles Howe's been doing like the same thing for so long. Yeah. He's making money.
Chucky 3
checks.
Chucky 3 checks.
Yeah. And what do they call them? Wad Wednesdays or whatever? That's what Kiz says the tour guys call them. He's got 1.3 on coming up in a couple days. So that'll be a nice Wad Wednesday for Kevin.
Yeah. I love Kisner. And my other pick, Alex Noren, he played well this week. He kind of got screwed. He faced a very hot Corey Connors this week. Corey Connors is not a match play player. If you think Corey Connors is never going to get third in this event again, I can guarantee you that. I mean, he is not a good putter historically, and he putted out of his mind. He made a bunch of just like ridiculous, like that putt against Kisner on 11. I mean, Kisner should have won that match 4-3 if it wasn't just for like 40-foot bombs and he
made a ton of putts though, to be fair.
He did, but Kisner was making consistently every 12-footer. Like that's something that you don't see on tour, which is ridiculous. But
we could use one of those weeks for Spieth.
We could use one of those weeks, but like, I don't know. It's because I was rooting for Kiz all week. Like I was a Kiz fan all week, and it was just like I've never before been rooting for someone where I'm looking at a 12-footer. I'm like, he's gonna make this. Like that doesn't. I just don't ever get that experience. So it was cool. It was fun. Shout out to Kevin Kisner because he had a great week this week. It was fun watching him. Just a blast seeing him come back. Best tournament of the year, not a non-major in my opinion. Just great to see a different format. Great to see not just the 72 holes.
Shout out to the golf course too, Austin Country.
Oh, what a course! Fun. What a course! That's top. I have that third on my golf course rankings on tour.
Especially when you get the wind blowing
behind Muirfield and Riv.
Not including majors, I take it.
Not including majors. I think I put Bay Hill's probably tied third, but
Austin's was fun this year too. Yeah.
But yeah,
I actually enjoyed this week. I said in the preview, I'm not a big fan of this week in general. Course is cool, but I think the weekends get a little. I don't know. Just watching two guys sometimes isn't the most fun, but Scheffler v. Kiz I tuned into. And then I wanted to see if there were any DJ highlights of, God, what do I have to play another 18 after for no So, I mean, DJ played great this week. I don't know.
Another guy, Augusta.
We won't talk about DJ much, but Like that's another guy that is very capable of winning, honestly, anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like if DJ's in form, because Southern Hills is pretty long, right?
Yeah.
I mean that has DJ kind of all over it. If it, I don't know too much about Southern Hills, but could be a DJ spot, especially if he's playing like that. So
Yeah, Southern Hills will be a course where I think you'll need to be long.
yeah.
But I guess
Which Jordan is, by the way. Jordan's not a short hitter by any means.
Jordan is not a short hitter by any means.
Yeah, not anymore.
Don't think when we say that we're like counting Jordan out. No, this course fit Jordan pretty well.
And he even said that in his pre-tournament press conference with the grass types. It's close to home. Before we wrap up, though, I got to give myself a little pat on the back. I've been saying that Jon Rahm's world #1 reign was going to come to an end, and it did. Although it wouldn't be shocking if he gets it back very close.
I would have called you insane if you would have told me 3 months ago that Scottie Scheffler would be #1 in the world before.
I don't know.
For sure.
I mean,
Morikawa would have been the safe pick.
Yeah. And Hovland. I mean, you could make a case Hovland.
Yeah.
Because the thing is
that the top 3 right now?
No, it's
Scheffler, Rahm, Morikawa.
Hovland's 4, Cantlay's 5.
Cam Smith go down to 6.
Yeah.
Cam Smith is 6, yeah.
But yeah, I think there'll be a lot to talk about in the next episode, which is the Valero preview. We have an exciting announcement coming up. I think we'll also touch on Tiger Woods because I think we have to. There's a lot of speculation going on with Tiger Woods. And then I don't know what to look forward to, what to not look forward to. Jordan Spieth next week. Yeah. Are there any expectations? I don't know. You'll have to stay. We're not going to give away anything yet. It's going to make you listen to 2. So, but yeah, exciting announcement coming up. We've been looking forward to this. We've been working really hard for you guys, and we're excited to kind of, have something like this pop up. A good opportunity for us. So, we're excited because I know we're just getting started because we have the beginnings of a very big summer, big spring, starting with the Masters, 4 majors to come. I know we're going to be attending tons of events. I know Jordan's going to at least, well, I mean, first of all, can we get some tickets? USGA.
Listening, please look us up.
But
your resale prices are crazy.
Yeah. But we'll do it if we have to, because but love you guys. I love getting the DMs, like when's your next podcast, and like so excited, like that's awesome. Like that makes my day. Really sounds cheesy, but like, we're just 3 losers who watch Spieth in the end, and
that's a good way to put it.
To get people to be excited to listen to us talk is something that I never thought I'd ever get to that stage in my life. So, and I'm sure we'll basically say the same thing when we have our big announcement the next time. So, but thank you guys. We appreciate it a lot. So
take care.
Yep.
See ya. Peace.